Will. Thank you very much. Time for racing. Doncaster Handicap Derby Day yesterday at Randwick. Max Presnell. It's always going to be pretty hard, Max, to upstage what happened at Rose Hill last week, and they didn't quite make it, did they?
No, that would be an impossible act to follow. But yesterday's racing had its controversies, was a good day. I must say that the Doncaster is probably the most lacklustre I've ever seen, but then Lady Gay came to the fore. She saved that race with a record 4 Doncasters in a row. A remarkable achievement.
Keith, welcome to you too down in Melbourne. How did you view it from Melbourne yesterday?
I thought it was a special day, Bruce, because Doncaster Day in Sydney's becoming better known now as Gay Day than the Mardi Gras. 4 in a row for Gay. Her dad, Tommy, holds a record, but he took a lifetime to get 7, didn't he?
He sure did. I think the other thing in Sydney racing that is so obvious is Beedman versus Dye. Yesterday they were just dominating the early part of the racing. Both, by the way, have copped suspensions during the carnivals. Beedman, a big story this morning.
Yes, Darren Beedman has been suspended and fined $10,000. Now, quite a few people are going to say Greg Hall last year in the Golden Slipper was fined $50,000. Didn't they go a little bit light on Darren? But I'd like to point out the Golden Slipper was a $2 million race. Yesterday's Derby was just a $1.1 million race. The richer the race, the richer the fine. There were some other extenuating circumstances. I do think Greg had a little bit more form in that area than Darren did, and they've all been applied. But it would be bad luck if this competition between these two very, very fine riders ceased. But that looks like it might be the case.
Max, did that involve the protest area? And if so, why was it tossed out in 10 seconds?
Well, it was tossed out in 10 seconds, Keith, because the interference to Tarnpur Lane handed out by Beedman's Mount Denendry wasn't considered sufficient to reverse the 2-length margin between the two. Let's say it was worth a length. Personally, I think the way these suspensions are going and the way that the jockeys are handling them, that we're going to have to look at relegation. Perhaps relegation is the only way where those horses that do meet interference get satisfaction of the connections of those horses.
That's the British way, isn't it? And a lot of the cases overseas. Go to the Doncaster. Gay did make it 4 in a row, and she quintetted it for the 2nd year in succession.
Shamer's midfield on the fence, followed by Iron Horse, Catalan opening, Buzz Off, Ken Bell, and Anthems is last of all. Coming to the crossing at the 800 metres mark. Ravada's about a neck in front of All Our Mob. Kingston Bay is pulling a bit third. He's on the inside of Secret Savings at the 800 mark, followed by Pragmatism, and then Shaman, Brackenbury. It's a pretty muddling pace in the Doncaster. Further back is Buzz Off with Iron Horse. Catalan opening will have to do a big job, and the last couple are Ken Bell and Anthems as they near the turn. Inside the 600 mark, Ravada the leader from All Our Mob. Kingston Bay third, Secret Savings fourth, Shame with nowhere to go, and then Brackenbury. Catalan opening is about to take off around the outside, followed by Buzz Off, Iron Horse and Ken Bell. Over the rise, All Our Mob headed Ravada. Secret Savings a length away is running on strongly. Shame into the clear, then Catalan opening. All Our Mob the leader at the 200. Secret Savings is coming at him strongly. Is it a Waterhouse Quinella? Secret Savings and All Our Mob have come away. They're fighting it out. Secret Savings just the leader from All Our Mob, and Larry Cassidy on Secret Savings for the Doncaster. Beat his stablemate All Our Mob.
Larry Cassidy back from Hong Kong. Gay Waterhouse only with Secret Savings, an American horse, for about 4 or 5 months. This is what she said to Max after the win.
Well, I thought he and All Our Mob would fight the finisher. I knew that they were 2 class horses. All Our Mob was the proven class horse and wasn't badly weighted. Secret Savings was poorly weighted, but he was the improving horse.
Did you want Shane Dye to ride All Our Mob?
Yes, I told Shane Dye to ride All Our Mob.
He wouldn't be told.
Oh, no, he's quite happy. He said, you put me on what you want to do that. And I said, well, you ride All Our Mob, and I asked Larry to ride Secret Savings. The stable's very much like that. I'm bringing the jockeys around.
Well, a good result certainly for Larry, and Shane missing out there, but what a good horse All Our Mob is. Keith, I just wonder, as we look at the replay of this and the slow tempo, Muwad, had he been Ravada, by how far do you reckon?
Yes, I think he would have had a pretty easy win, given the tempo of the race. It was a tempo that suited some and not others. Catalan opening was disappointing. Heavily back favourite, he finished 6th, but a good performance by Secret Savings. He's a 6-year-old, lightly raced, 9 wins from 21 starts. And Shane Dye, you mentioned his dominance along with Darren Beedman. He even played a part in that, Bruce. He'd had a couple of wins on Secret Savings and gave Larry Cassidy some winning riding advice.
I thought Darren didn't ride very well on Catalan opening in that particular race.
I scored Darren 2 out of 10 on Catalan opening, and that's the amount you get for jumping on the horse's back. It was a slowly run race. Catalan Opening showed he can handle these conditions the Saturday before. He got him right back in the field where Catalan Opening had no chance. Darren rode some fine races yesterday, the North. That was not one of his better rides.
Briefly, Mewad, is he finished as a racehorse?
Well, it's in the balance. It's not a serious tendon injury, but any injury to a stallion prospect like Mewad has got to be very, very serious. The next week or so should tell the connections.
Look, and also, Bruce, I was going to mention, if I may, that Gay made the right decision coming back for the Doncaster, because if you've not heard the news, I know you have, that Dubai, the World Cup there, was washed out with rain, and Juggler will come back without racing.
Yes, she would have been very happy. He is coming back, Juggler, is he?
Yes, he won't run over there, Bruce.
That's
well,
news.
of course, Bruce, they couldn't go on in Dubai without Keith. That's why the rains came down.
Keith, you're going to find it hard to get a trip without Juggler, I can tell you. Let's look at the Derby. Dramatic yesterday. $10,000 fine for Beedman. Watch Denendry before the turn. He does angle. She's back second last. The winner comes from last die, and you'll see Denendry go across the field, and then she does run in at the end. It's a fabulous finish.
Then Emerald Cut and Dan Endrian tailed off as Ebony Grove as they go to the 800 metres mark in the Derby. It's Don Tristram the leader. Torbellino second. Turn Me Loose third on the outside of Grandmaster. Flak Jacket is flat to the boards, followed by Might and Power, Captain Moonlight, Hero's Return, then Tarn Per Lane, Star Covet, into Gazer, still about 8 lengths off the lead as they come to the corner, followed by Gwingana, then Emerald Cut, well back, He's a Dane, Dan Endry will have to do a mighty job, and last is Ebony Grove. Coming over the rise, and Torbellino hit the lead in the Derby from Don Tristram. Further out is Turn Me Loose, and then Flak Jacket, Hero's Return. Coming right down the outside, Tarn Per Lane into Gazers, now getting a split between them. Here's Dan Endry and Ebony Grove coming from Stone, Motherless last. Dan Endry and Ebony Grove go to the lead together. It's Dye and Beedman, Ebony Grove, Dan Endry. Oh! Desperately close. Ebony Grove maybe.
Fantastic finish. So appropriate, the two top jockeys. When we look at the replay, you'll see the interference where Darren Beedman has copped his fine in his suspension. Here's Denendry. She's coming across. She's basically crabbing across. Ebony Grove might have got this on protest. Anyway, have a look. He does get interfered with.
Yes, there was a slight hiccup there, but it was a demolition derby. There are a number of horses inside. Might and Power was one that had no luck at all in the straight and was beaten just over a length. I think Intergay should have finished closer, but that's the derby. The two superstars fought it out again, and to be a superstar jockey, you've got to take risks. You've got to ride boldly. And that's why I think that our racing controllers have got to look at a better way.
It's a great staying performance by Ebony Grove. He gave the inkling that he might be something special in the spring down here. He was raw then. He finally delivered. His form's been hard to catch. Some gear changes and access to the bull ring, Max. That's something we've not heard of officially down here.
No, we haven't heard officially up here either, but I believe it contributed much to the improvement of Ebony Grove yesterday.
We've got to leave it there. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Keith. Big racing still on the weekend in all the states. The footy show about to start down, the footy panel down in Melbourne with Rex Hunt. Rex, good to chat to you. And